Thanks for turning into Gridcenter. I am your host Shane Falco, along with newly crowned Big 12 champion Big D. We are here to bring you the Pac-10 playoff recap show. Gonna go ahead and break down the games and then give recognition to the champs in this conference. Well, as some people saw, we had a very short edition of the preview, and not to give anything away, but it seems that was a pretty accurate description of what went down. We'll try and break down the games to start.
Yeah, we'll start off with the Weekend Warriors and the Ringers. That was the first game. That's the game actually I sat and watched. And the Weekend Warriors, they came out and it's all business. They moved the ball. The defense was stellar. Not too many mistakes. Just playing championship football. You know, I mean, the Ringers did a good job. They hung in there as possible to make sure the game wasn't as worse as it was. But the bottom line, you know, Weekend Warriors came out to play and they won that game.
Yeah, for a team in their first playoff game, I think they had to learn about the different intensity that playoff football can bring.
It's a different level.
Granted, they had an uphill battle anyway with the Weekend Warriors, but I mean, playoff football is a lot different than the regular season. Some teams, even though they're a dominant team, don't show up. And sometimes a team that may not be as good physically or athletically comes out and gets a win. But I think in this case, Weekend Warriors came to play and finish off that season. But still, congratulations to the Ringers on their first playoff berth, and hopefully they'll be back in the future. You know, tough way to get your first playoff game, but big learning experience, so hopefully they'll take a lot from that.
Hey, this is their third season. The first two was tough. The first two was tough, and the third one they made the playoffs. So they're on schedule to do good things in the league.
They're growing as a team, and that's all you can ask for.
Exactly.
And then the 2-3 matchup had HTown versus the Savages. This was a very, very close game, back and forth. Came down to the final play. Big extra point conversion to put the game away, as it was a 1-point game. Wow. Two teams that knew each other very well. Featured a H-Town at center, played on the Savages for the first couple weeks, and then switched over. So obviously some guys knew each other there. He's actually the guy that caught the game-winning extra point, so wow. I imagine the Savages were not happy about letting him catch that final score. But Steve and his guys came and they showed up to play. Savages first, you know, they've been in the playoffs before, but there's such a team that's so inconsistent. Yeah. And, you know, this might have been a chance for them to make a good run, but H-Town's defense, you know, stifled them.
Yeah. I had them as a dark horse because physically, with speed and the way they played, I thought could wind up going to the championship and giving the Warriors a run for their money. But like I said, you just need more than physical play to win a championship. So.
Yeah, I think by far they're the most athletic team in the Pac-10.
They are.
But just not finding all the right pieces or not all the right chemistry at this point in time. So we'll see what they can do when they come back in the fall and as they rebuild and look to get better. Okay. So that leaves us with the championship game, which obviously featured the Weekend Warriors against H-Town. This was a rematch of the Week 1 game. Some people may remember that H-Town was the preseason favorite for the Pac-10. So in some ways, they justified that by getting to the championship game. But the championship game wasn't much different from the Week 1 game, where the Weekend Warriors really dismantled them. A little switch for H-Town. They went conventional. Had Big Steve in there at the offensive line instead of QB or playing out split out. And it was all defense for the Weekend Warriors. I mean, they ended up winning 21-0. Just executed their offense and took advantage of the mismatches that they had. And their defense just, they bent but didn't break. Yeah. They really didn't let H-Town penetrate deep all game. And just impose their will on them.
Yeah, hats off to HTown. I see what they were trying to do. They wanted to switch it up a little bit, maybe get a little bit more physical with these guys, because I haven't seen the Weekend Warriors or anybody that played them play physical against them. Mm-hmm. And they figured that, we'll come out and spread. They already seen that already. Let's try something new. And it looked interesting for the first 3 or 4 minutes.
Yep.
And then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, they started to move the ball at the beginning of the game, and then once the Weekend Warriors adjusted to what the obvious game plan was, mm-hmm. then they pretty much tightened it up, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
QB for H-Town just did not make a lot of good decisions, a lot of missed throws.
Yeah.
And when you got a team that's playing defense like the Weekend Warriors, where you just can't allow that.
No, you can't.
So, congratulations to the Weekend Warriors. They didn't surrender a point the entire playoffs.
Wow.
So that's going to be put to the test this coming week for the league championship when they face off against Wreckage in the first round. We'll get more into Wreckage when we get to Mountain West. But your 2011 spring Pac-10 champions, the Weekend Warriors. Congratulations to them.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
So, in a nutshell, it's going to wrap up the Pac-10. Had a couple of good competitive games. Couldn't ask for more than that. I mean, all things considered, the Ringers still only lost by 2 scores, so they were never really out of the game, even if they weren't in the game.
Exactly.
But the Weekend Warriors they've finished what they started, and
It's too easy.
it was too easy.
It's too easy.
Too easy. So, until the fall for the Pac-10 conference, Weekend Warriors are the new champs. Congratulations to them. Thanks for everybody for playing. This is Big D, Shane Falco,